It's Friday at the FreeCodeCamp Meetup at Innogrove. And introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Javier Alvarado. I'm the lead organizer for FreeCodeCamp Greater Sacramento area. And I mostly run the meetup here in Elk Grove at Innogrove. So that's kind of what I'm doing here today.
All right. Javier, right? I first met Javier at 1 Million Cup Sacramento. He was presenting, if I remember correctly, he was presenting SimpleDev.io, right?
Mm-hmm. That's
And it was kind of like a coding thing. Coding education. I know they have Code Ninja for little kids to learn and do some stuff. I know at the university level, corporate level, it costs thousands of dollars to become a full stack engineer, developer, learning code and all the different languages and things like that. So what is SimpleDev.io, and what do you offer people?
Currently, SimpleDev is a reference website for coders that features short, easy-to-read articles about the most popular languages, tools, and frameworks. Mostly on the front-end web development side, but eventually I hope to expand beyond that and have more content, maybe in back-end development or mobile app development. But that's where we're at right now. And what was the second question?
All right. What do you kind of offer? It's free, so I mean, it's free, something that's anybody and everybody can hop on there, look at some stuff, read some stuff, click links, take notes of some stuff, free sources like that. So what for the web design, for the front end, back end stuff, although it's free, what are you kind of offering the audience?
I see.
The users of people who do go to SimpleDev.io.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I will say the plan right now is to transition to a freemium model, which means some articles will be free and then some you have to pay to get access to. And so it won't be free forever.
All right. I know Khan Academy. You can go to Khan Academy. I'm not sure if you heard of that name before. They have a bunch of free education, free programming. I'm sure they have some free coding courses on Khan Academy. It's a great resource, kind of in supplement with as an online thing. This would be more of like maybe a community of people as opposed to online education.
Let's see. Well, kind of going back to the previous question, in terms of the value that SimpleDev provides, I think there's a few different goals, but I think one of them is just, like I said, it's a reference site for coders. So my goal is to be able to provide answers or information to coders, as quickly as possible, about things they've either maybe already covered in the past, but they haven't used in a while, so they forgot, and they kind of need to quickly look up, how to do a certain thing in terms of front-end web development or something around that area. So a lot of it has to do with speed, just being able to quickly access information. I think it's also great if you already have a little bit of coding experience and you're trying to transition not transition, but add another skill. So I also have articles on using the terminal, using Git, using NPM, using SAS. So there's other articles as well like that. And if you're not familiar with those technologies, I think SimpleDev is a good way to get up to speed with those technologies, and you don't have to go through a long tutorial. It should be pretty fast, a pretty seamless process through SimpleDev.
All right, with all those different languages and engines and ways to code, different text editors, the HTML, the SAS, the Git. I know there's those platforms have millions of different tutorials, millions of different ways to code. Maybe a website, is if there's any accuracy to that, meaning you might be able to build a website on each different platform, use similar code, if not the same code. And so yeah. With that being said, with people who are already experienced, the freemium, of course, and the meetup community, meetup members, meetup community, people showing up here working on whatever they're working on.
Mm-hmm.
And not so much of the free online education. Is it the vision for the future now that you've already have maybe 1 or 2 years of experience with Meetup, with 1 Million Cups? For the future vision of things is having project based work for people. Like you said, for more skills,
Mm-hmm.
or to get a portfolio together.
Yeah, so you're kind of asking for both the Meetup and SimpleDev, I think.
And how are they connected, and just the vision for the future of both those,
Okay.
if they're not the same, and how they're different.
Yeah. So in terms of the project-based learning, different people have mentioned something to that effect to me about SimpleDev, so it is something I'm considering adding to the SimpleDev website. For the Meetup, we do try and do workshops on a fairly regular basis, and I know in the past I've tried to emphasize like the workshops should be at a good pace where people can follow along.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Because
kind of
there's a couple different meetings, a couple different meetups.
Mm-hmm.
Something that, a person may want less structure,
Mm-hmm.
or a person may want more structure.
Mm-hmm.
So are you kind of leaning to less or more?
Oh, I see. I think, well, when we bring back more workshops, there will be a little bit more structure, but it's still fairly laid back. So it'll be like maybe like a half-hour workshop, and then the rest of the time is we just set aside for networking usually, and so people can talk to each other, ask each other questions, show off their projects to each other, and actually I think people get a lot of usefulness out of that, sometimes more than the workshop itself. So that's why I kind of like to keep it fairly open and fairly laid back. But yeah, so there's a little bit of a structure there.
So currently there's one at a coffee shop, and then there's one at a different one at a co-working places. So two different kind of areas. If you wanted to, go to a coffee shop, maybe work on your project, code, learn some stuff, connect with the community members, share your projects. You can do that at the coffee shop, or at the co-working place if that's something you want more structure. For sure. So is that about a good for right now?
In terms of just what I want to say, or
in terms of currently, for the future, and does that kind of wrap up everything?
Let's see. Well,
if you want to plug any if you're doing anything else,
yeah.
If you want to plug any other thing, any shout outs or anything, this is the time to do that.
Okay. Well, I think for the meetup, the kind of the main goal for the future is always just to bring in new people, and hopefully some of them will become regular members. So we're always looking for new people to join the meetup. And like Victor said, there's 2 locations right now, mainly. And then for SimpleDev, I'm just planning on adding more articles, more content, keep working on the user interface and make sure it works well for most of the users. And like I said, I'm hoping to transition to a freemium model, so I am hoping to get some paying users in the near future. So that'll be nice. But oops.
For sure, bro. I mean, yeah, for sure. Freemium, showing off the quality of whatever you're able to provide, and then eventually, making a career out of something that's worthwhile.
Okay.
So stay tuned for some more videos. Like and subscribe. Thank you.